Hello, fellow fantasy sports fans. Welcome to MFSN The Hub's football strategy show, usually Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, but today we called an audible. We had to do it. We saw a blitz coming, and we're coming out with it now. So today, I'm all days, I'm Dr. Dan Radner, and I'm here with Casey Vlad to the Bone Scheinvold and Ross the Boss. Let's first
Hey,
say
everybody, hello. Ross the Boss coming from sunny Los Angeles, California, where the expected temperature in my hometown is 108 degrees today.
Ooh, that's a scorcher. It's about 72 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio. Well, listen, in a couple months, it'll be completely the reverse.
I know.
You'll be bragging to me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. So we're getting ready to, this is a very exciting time in fantasy sports, of course. Football reigns supreme when it comes to fantasy sports. And we've got our draft coming up this Sunday. By the way, if you guys are watching out there, tune in. It is going to be Sunday at, what did we say, 7:30? What did we say? I'm totally blanking. No, we said 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can watch us draft live.
This Sunday.
This Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. And listen, this is a redraft league, and it can look for, and Ross sets the rules. We know his rules can sometimes be crazy, so always check out your league rules before you draft. But today we're here to talk about bold predictions. So one thing I wanted to ask you guys first, before we even get into predictions, is like, how they talk about the man crush, the people that you're just like, you really want on your team. Do you guys have anybody like that going into the draft? I try to avoid those because I've realized every single time I'm
wrong. As many Bengals I can draft possible, I draft.
A true homer.
I stay away from, Casey and I talked a little about this. No Saints.
No Jets typically for you.
0. I probably won't draft any Patriots. 0. And I probably won't draft, the Panthers, I like Hubbard.
So will you draft any Steelers?
Yeah. Casey and I still like their tight end. Not Fairmouth, who I do like, but I like Smith, who they got from Miami. Jonnu Smith, who there's a reason why they got him. They're going to run a double tight end set in Pittsburgh. And Aaron Rodgers, as we know, a little older, so he'll use the tight ends as a dump off. So, yes, Pittsburgh.
All right, so your man crushes are largely Cincinnati Bengals, and you have lots of teams you really don't like. Casey, what about you?
I don't know if I have any necessarily man crushes. I have. You'll hear who I like in my bold predictions. I think that kind of gives away our man crushes.
All right, so let all right, we're gonna pull the plug on that. We'll call another audible. Let's start in on just give me one bold prediction each that really people are not talking about in this way. I want to hear something different.
All right, I'll go first.
Go first.
My boldest and maybe my man crush. Here we go. Evan Engram finishes as the top tight end this season.
And this is because he has a history with the Giants, isn't it?
No,
it's probably the opposite.
Yeah, it's because have you ever seen what the tight end can do when it's an athletic tight end in a Sean Payton and Joe Lombardi offense? Look at Marquez Colston. Look at Jimmy Graham. They have a young quarterback who's very talented. They call it the Joker role in that offense, and I think he fits right in. He's this big athletic tight end who is one of the top tight ends in end zone targets the last 2 years in the red zone. So he is a pass catching tight end. He can stretch the field. He can find space. Denver's going to be an exciting team this year, and so I'm thinking Evan Engram, worst case scenario, ends up top 3 or 4 tight ends, but I actually could legitimately see him finishing near the top in points.
Legitimately. Wow. Those are bold predictions.
Nice. Well, that's what we're here for. Ross, give me one of yours.
I really feel this guy's going to lead the league in passing yards. He has no running back. He has no defense, which means he has to throw the ball like a maniac the whole year. Is Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboy guy. I'm picking him because of those facts, that he has 2 really good receivers, and he has a good tight end in Ferguson, and he will be throwing the ball a lot because they'll be behind, and they have no running game at all.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna weigh in with one of mine. And remember, these are bold predictions. We could completely be wrong, but we're swinging for the fences here.
Yep.
I think that Ladd McConkey is going to be a top 5 wide receiver. It's going to be close. but I think he'll be top 10 easily, and I think he could sneak into the top 5. What are your thoughts? He's stunned.
I own Lad McConkey in Dynasty.
My thought. Oh, go ahead.
I'm a big fan. I think the Keenan Allen signing could actually interfere with that prediction. I just think it gives him a second pass catcher, because McConkey's not a field stretcher. He's a PPR kind of monster. Plays out of the slot, which is what Keenan Allen did for the Chargers many years ago, and has been a very good wide receiver. And Jim Harbaugh likes to run the ball. They drafted Omari and Hampton. This is part of why it's such a bold prediction, though. Right?
Like, you wouldn't think that, but
trust me, I'm rooting for it because I own him in Dynasty, and it's good for me. But
I mean, his floor, I think, is what we saw last season.
His floor is great, but I worry that Keenan Allen, even though he's 35, something like that, 34, I don't know, takes away some of that ceiling for him, because he's going to take some of those.
And I think it's kind of the opposite.
Something it's getting open.
See, but I think that actually just helps Lad McConkey. It opens up more space. We'll see. I'll go on record as saying I think he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver.
I think top 10 is more suitable.
I think he's a wide receiver 1, so I'd say top 12. Yeah,
I think the guy's a stud. He gets hit like up the middle all the time, and he just bounces back up. And
I was super high on him even last year when people were not that high on him.
Yeah,
it did not surprise me at all to see what he did, and some of it's his dad is Phil McConkey. Like he's been around this. He knows.
Speaking of Giants,
there you go.
Giants play tonight, Casey. Are you ready to watch
McConkey and Mark Bavaro were my favorite. I will watch Cam Scadaboo.
They've got some exciting players there. All right, let's go with some other bold predictions. Casey, we'll go back to you.
All right, I'll just go down my list. Drake May will finish as a top 6 quarterback this year.
Top 6.
Not top 5, but top 6.
I can't put him in the top 5 yet.
Yeah, let's be realistic.
Top 5.
His points per game last year were great. Remember, he only played 9 games. And now he has weapons. He has Diggs. He has Travion Henderson. He has the rookie Kyle Williams too. He rushed for 400 yards in 9 games last year and 2 touchdowns. So he is a mobile quarterback. If he stays healthy, it's not out of the realm for him to rush for 600 plus yards and get 4 or 5 touchdowns on the ground. And if you can do that, you're usually finishing in the top 10 for quarterbacks.
All right, Ross, how about you?
I'm going to stick with some rookies. I feel Travis Hunter will have double-digit touchdown catches this season and will be a legit number 2 wide receiver in Jacksonville. And he will play maybe 1 or 2 plays a game in defense, and that's it. He'll be a wide receiver.
So that to me is a really bold prediction in a lot of ways. Even though he was, such a high pick on the draft, as we know, I just think rookie wide receivers. You know what I said about Marvin Harrison Jr. last year? It's like, Travis Hunter is going to end up 30th, the number 30 wide receiver. It happens every year with these top guys.
And he also has an alpha wide receiver on his team already, which hurts.
But you're going to want him after week 6. You're definitely going to want him after week 6. So I just
remember Malik Neighbors was a rookie. He had a great year. Brian Thomas Jr. Unbelievable. He was
Brian
great.
Thomas Jr. surprised everybody.
And Lad McConkey was a rookie last year, I believe, right, Case?
Yes, he was.
He was.
But the question is, do you think Trevor Lawrence can support 2 wide receivers?
I don't know. I just think they spent so much money on this kid, and he was so good.
Draft capital.
I think they will, but when you say double-digit touchdowns, I just think one of the reasons this is a bold prediction, and my hat's off to you, Ross, is that in the beginning of the season, I just don't see much of that happening. So he's not gonna have a lot of wiggle room.
A quick story about him. There's nothing to do with football, but this personal life. So he gets married, college sweetheart. He decides to get married in Tennessee, which he's never even been to. No relate. His wife has nothing to do with Tennessee. His wife set it up because in Tennessee, if you get divorced, there's no mediation. There's nothing. She gets half of everything. You know what I mean? So and now I heard they're having trouble, and I heard there's trouble in paradise. And
so that was a really bold prediction.
There you go.
I mean, it's like
good for her. She predicted it well.
And this poor kid just signed a huge deal with with Jacksonville.
But she won't get his future money. She gets his value now. I mean, that's
if he signed that I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but
wow.
If he signed that
you
contract,
have to be together a certain amount of time for that to.
I don't know. He got screwed. That's all I got to say. But there you go. Keep going.
All right. I'm going to jump in with another bold prediction myself. This is one I've made reference to before. You've heard me talk about Bryce Young. I'm obviously much higher on him than you guys are. I think he will easily be a top 12 QB. I think when it comes to single QBs leagues next year, he's going to be drafted as a starter a lot of the time. And in Superflex, he's going to be super valuable. I look at the last 4 weeks of the season. It just seemed to me that the game slowed down. He finally caught on.
Right.
And I know that, listen, I know Carolina's been terrible, but if you look at what Bryce Young did, his completion percentage was high. He was throwing for touchdowns. He was not throwing interceptions. He looked more comfortable in the pocket. He looked more comfortable scrambling. This, to me, he's the number one QB target that I'd be looking for to leap up way higher than people expect. To me, he's the Bo Nix of this year.
And they added Tedoroa McMillan, so that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
All right.
And I don't hear anybody talking about him. Maybe I'm not listening enough, but I haven't heard a whole lot about it.
Yeah. I think his size is what holds people back because he's slight of frame and not very tall. And unless you're Drew Brees, that's not usually the best recipe for success.
But I mean, like even Kyler Murray he's been at least solid. He's been quite good.
All right. How about this one? Emeka Egbuka will lead the Bucs in targets and receptions this year and finish as a top 20 wide receiver.
Oh, I hope you're right about that. I've got him in Dynasty.
Ohio State rookie. I like that.
Because Chris Godwin is hurt. Who knows when he's coming back and what conditions he'll be in.
Hold on. Godwin update. He's off the PUP list.
Sure. He's still injured, and who knows how explosive he's going to be.
Little update.
Mike Evans is great, but he's never had more than 70 receptions in a season, despite his 1,000 yards and touchdowns record. Yep. So I just think, we've seen what Ohio State and LSU, they just produce wide receivers who are awesome. And so,
guys, LSU with Neighbors, Thomas, Chase, Jefferson. It's like if I was a wide receiver in high school and I got a scholarship to LSU, I'd be taking that so quick to make your head spin.
Yeah, and Ohio State's kind of similar with what they produce.
Ohio State too. Yeah.
I think he might. I don't know if he's going to get the most points because I think Evans is going to do the touchdown thing and still do his. But in terms of PPR value, I think you'll see Egbuka a top 20, maybe even top 18 wide receiver this year.
There's one way in which I agree with you on this, Casey, which is actually next year. I think he'll be a top 10 wide receiver.
Wow.
I think he's like Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's, and he's probably, to me, I feel like he's going to follow that trajectory more, which just, slows it down, but that makes your prediction bold. Right. And we'll see how it comes out.
I like it. It's called bold predictions, not like, I think, I think Jamar Chase is going to lead the league.
I think Robinson's going to be good.
What?
I think Josh Allen's going to have a top 6 quarterback year.
Yes.
Yeah. Top 6, not top 5, but top 6. Yeah, Casey's predicting.
I will.
Hey, I have
making room for Drake May.
That's my prediction is a guy that left the 49ers, joined the Vikings. He has Aaron Jones as the other running back.
I have him as one of mine too.
I think Jordan Mason will have at least, I'll say it again, at least 10 touchdowns. That's my theme in the show today is guys that will have over 10 touchdowns. So Jordan Mason as the running back pick to have over 10 TDs. He was really good with the Niners. Aaron Jones will get this some handoffs, but remember, he's older. And
he's the pass catching back.
Yeah, I like Aaron Jones. Nothing against him at all. But Jordan Mason will get the handoffs. He will be the short yardage guy. Aaron Jones is smaller. And I think that we'll see at least 10 touchdowns out of Mason.
Nice. And listen, if Ross is right about that, you're going to get huge value on him late in the draft.
Yeah, he'll be a fantasy MVP if that one comes true. And I have him listed too, Ross. I say 1,000+ yards, 10 touchdowns.
I love it.
And a top 12 running back. That was one of mine for
top 12, not top 10.
Both have it.
Well, 12. Running back 1. I think if 12 team leagues, he'll be an RB1.
Yeah.
That's why I put it that way.
Okay, here's a bold prediction, or maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I say these things and I'm like, will this even be bold? Maybe everybody's just seeing it this way. I think Tyreek Hill is going to be an afterthought in drafts from now on. I think we're going to see a really low year for him. I mean, last year already sucked, but I do not expect a rebound.
Can I counter the bold prediction on Tyreek Hill because you mentioned his name?
Yes.
I predict he'll be traded before the first game of the season. How about that?
Okay, well, that would what? If that happens, that would actually really help him because he's in a terrible situation from a fantasy sports perspective. He's not happy there. No. Tua is. This is another one of my bold predictions. I think Tua is going to retire by the end of the season.
That's not a bold prediction.
That's pretty
bold. Maybe that's not bold. It's pretty bold to say he's going to retire.
I guess, but
retire versus injured and can't return.
I think he's one concussion away from retiring, and I think that hurts Tyreek Hill.
And they don't have a good offensive line.
But even when he's on the field, Tyreek Hill wasn't doing that much. I mean, even Jalen Waddle, who's younger, they were doing nothing. It's, and Miami was so dynamic, and the running backs still can be. But I just don't. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to break 800 yards this year. That's pretty low, and that makes him basically waiver wire fodder. I could see Tyreek Hill on a lot of waiver wires this year. Now it could be wrong.
Wow. That's a bold prediction.
Yeah, I don't think he'll end up on waiver wires because people still believe in him.
But, well, that's probably true. But I'll say this: I think he will belong on a lot of waiver wires if he doesn't get there. He's got the name value, and I love Tyreek Hill. And when he left the Chiefs, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Tyreek Hill's going to take a big hit because he's not playing with Patrick Mahomes." And actually, it was the reverse. So I'm not talking down Tyreek Hill in general. I just don't think he's in a good headspace. I think he's at that point in his career where he's old enough that he could be falling off the cliff. And I bet next year he'll be truly an afterthought. He'll just be a lottery ticket for teams. So we'll see if I'm right.
I say he goes to the 49ers, but we'll see.
Good. All right. So Cleveland. I'm going to make it Cleveland.
That's already a bold prediction.
That's Dan Ratner's hometown, everybody. Just so everybody.
Yes, it is.
Yes, Shedeur Sanders starts more than half of the games for the Browns this year. And Isaiah Bond ends up as their wide receiver 2.
These are big predictions.
It's funny. I don't think that seems like
because here's Joe Flacco's going to start the season.
Yeah.
Isaiah Bond just signed 2 weeks ago. So it means Shedeur Sanders and Isaiah Bond are on the backfield somewhere working on stuff together. They're going to develop this insane connection. The kid might be the fastest or one of the 3 or 4 fastest players in the NFL. And I just see Sanders staying in the pocket, waiting for the big hit, and then just throwing it as far as he can before he takes a shot. And they have a good defense. So they're going to, they're not going to be out of many games. So they're going to be playing for real. I could see that. Jerry Jeudy doesn't scare me. I'm an Alabama guy, but he didn't do much at Denver when he was drafted. He just hasn't produced. Cedric Tillman is great, but he's a plotter. He's a possession type of receiver. And Sanders likes to hold the ball and chuck it. And I just think Isaiah Bond's going to be his guy.
How about this prediction? Joe Flacco will be a top 5 yardage quarterback this year.
Are you actually predicting this?
No, he made that up right now.
No, I think Joe Flacco is going to have he'll be throwing the ball like 50 times a game. I mean,
he could be throwing the ball an awful lot. And the guy, he was exposed in the playoffs. When you really can game plan for him, he can't carry a team that far in the playoffs, I don't think. But and I don't even think we'll get there. But playoffs. But in the regular season, the guy threw 300 yards over and over and over.
Yeah. And David Njoku has to be like doing a happy dance because if you look at Njoku's numbers when Flacco's the quarterback versus anybody else, he's suddenly a top 6 or 7 tight end because Flacco loves him and they have a good connection. But, I love Joe Flacco. He's 41 years old now, 40 years old, something like that. When they interviewed him, they asked him how long he expects to be the quarterback for the Browns this year. He was kind of like, yeah, we all know how this business works. Like, he doesn't care anymore. He just says whatever is on his mind. He's like, I'm 40 years old. I'm starting in the NFL. I have a Super Bowl ring.
But it is a fun story. It's certainly a fun story in Cleveland because, like, Joe Flacco, I think he had a great experience, and the fans had a great experience with him. So it's a really feel good.
It's a great story. I mean, the guy literally,
Major League.
Literally, he was sitting on his couch watching TV, and he gets a call about playing quarterback again, and he called his dad, and said, "Dad, can you come over? I need to practice." So his dad was out there like running routes for him. I mean, it's like a dream. And he had some great games. I mean, fantasy wise, he was a gem for like 2 or 3 weeks. He was great.
I think longer than that. I mean, people really were able to start him for like a good 6 to 7 weeks. All right, I'm going to do another bold prediction.
Go ahead.
Garrett Wilson will never be regarded as a wide receiver 1 candidate again. I don't think that's ever going to happen. He'll remain a wide receiver 2. And I love the guy, his athleticism, but he's stuck on the Jets.
I never thought
he's reunited with his college quarterback.
Yeah,
it's not going to matter.
I still think Justin Fields, he's a terrible NFL quarterback, but he's a really good fantasy quarterback. So.
Well, there's only one reason he's not a good fantasy quarterback, which is that he keeps getting benched. If he wouldn't get benched, he'd be a great fantasy quarterback. Yeah. But
I like Justin Fields. I say he's a top 12 quarterback. I mean,
you guys laughed at me when I put him in my top 10.
Well, I just said I don't think he's going to finish the season as the quarterback, and I think he'll be out before week 8.
Okay.
My prediction, because by watching him play football when they played the Bengals last week, the Washington Commanders, they're trying to trade Brian Robinson. He's on the market. He's not going to play. They're going to trade him hopefully before the first game, if anybody wants him, because he has a big deal. But Ja'Cory Krusky Merritt, Arizona, not Arizona State, but Casey, but Arizona running back, rookie.
Call me Bill, he said.
Bill, he will lead the Reds. I said it. He will lead the Commanders in yardage for a running back this season, the rookie from Arizona. So if you're drafting fantasy and you need a running back late in the draft, that's not a bad guy to pick up.
I like that a lot, Ross. And to me, those are the kind of bold predictions that really can go a long way for people drafting, because like he could go undrafted easily in lots and lots of leagues. But
no, if you were watching the Bengals game on Monday night and saw what this kid did against the best defense in football,
worst defense in the NFL.
Yep,
that's another bold prediction. Best defense. No, I'm just kidding. But
that is bold. That's the most bold prediction you'll make.
But yes, if you didn't watch the game, you have no idea who this kid is. In all seriousness,
unless you listen or read, you'll.
But he looked really good, and I think the reason trading Brian Robinson obviously is because they have a lot of faith in this kid. Did you see that? It was a clip. I think it was on something. I think it was TikTok or something. This guy was doing a fantasy football draft, and he picked Bijan Robinson. He wanted Bijan Robinson as number 1 pick. But instead of picking Bijan Robinson, he picked Brian Robinson of the Commanders. And the commissioner, like all the guys were there, and the commissioner said, "No, that's your pick. You got to go with it." He just realized, they said, "Why do you picked the wrong guy?" And
wow,
so
that's kind of a jerk.
Can you imagine?
That's kind of a jerk
lesson
move
learned.
To make
be aware what you're doing for your first pick before you do it.
Ross, you just made me feel. You made me feel so much better about
running back for the Bears. Remember the guy who picked him?
That's what I was going to say. You made me feel so much better about the DeAndre Swift pick. I mean, like, what could be a worse feeling than being like, I'm getting Bijan Robinson. I'm all pumped up. And you
get
select Ryan Robinson. Oh, my God.
Funny.
This is another somewhat similar prediction to what Ross was just going to say. But I think Dylan Sampson of the Cleveland Browns is a great late round pick.
Tennessee.
Unless Brian Robinson ends up there.
Listen, the Browns make all kinds of bad deals, so it could easily
Browns and the
happen.
Dolphins are kind of considered the 2 most likely landing spots.
And as a Brian Robinson, if I had Brian Robinson like on a dynasty team, I don't want him see him going to the Dolphins, especially. My God, they're so loaded there. But Dylan Sampson, because of what happened to Quinshon Judkins and the uncertainty around that, you got to give a long look to this guy. I mean, Dylan Sampson easily could be a 10 touchdown running back. Now, is it going to happen? These are all bold predictions. It could easily not happen, but he's somebody that I would want to have on virtually every team that I would draft. He's the right kind of lottery ticket.
Well, I love him. In Tennessee, he was averaging like 8 yards or 7 yards a carry. I mean, he was a stud in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why he dropped so much in the draft, but I think that's a great prediction. I like that kid.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily see him being 1,000-yard rusher with 12 touchdowns.
If he gets the carries, I mean,
it's all about whether he gets the carries.
I mean, supposedly Ford's going to be the starting running back. Is that true in Cleveland?
That's what we hear. But there's so much coach speak. It's like, I don't know. Maybe that's just he's giving it to the veteran. Ford is not. I just don't think he's got the body type to hold up to it.
I don't either.
So I like Dylan Sampson as if I had anybody in that backfield, including Judkins, because you just don't know what's going to happen with that. I'd rather have Sampson.
All right. How about this one? Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown switch by the end of the season.
That. Oh, you think
Jamison Williams ends up in the top 10, and Amon-Ra disappoints and becomes a wide receiver 2 this year. I think Williams ends up with over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. Well, 8 to 10 touchdowns.
Casey, I feel like you just are looking at my dynasty teams and giving me good news today. I appreciate
I'm trying.
That. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, why are you helping Dan so much?
Hey, he knows who needs the help, Ross.
So right. another guy that I think is going to be big year. He has a new quarterback who actually I drafted in our dynasty league. Calvin Ridley, I think, is going to have a huge year. I mean, I think this guy, what Terry McLaurin did last season, I think that he's going to do the same. I mean, this guy, Calvin Ridley, is good anyway, but I think having a new quarterback there and having Levis out, I think it's going to help him tremendously, and we'll see him flourish in Tennessee.
How many touchdowns? Are you predicting 10 touchdowns? That could easily happen for Calvin Ridley. He's done it before.
He's not on my touchdown. I just think he'll have 1,200 yards and
okay, Ross. I just want to say that made me trust you even more. That you said that, because I don't see him getting 10 touchdowns. But
no, I mean, I think 1,200 yards though is very easy.
And I think Cam Ward is being tragically underappreciated or underrated as a number 1 overall pick. He's athletic, he's accurate, he's strong-armed. I can see him finishing as a QB2 in Superflex. I think he'll be
very valuable.
A must start. And he's a great bye week quarterback to have as your second quarterback.
And people underestimate the rookie quarterbacks. So many of these, and not obviously not everyone, because it's hard to find that guy, but there's a lot of rookie quarterbacks who come in and they just produced right off the bat. Bo Nix was the latest, I would say. And Drake May. So, there's tons of busts, but there's also guys.
Will Levis.
I just watched.
I take that one back.
Hey, listen, he was drinking mayonnaise.
Too much. We all knew there was coffee.
I actually just watched the Kurt Warner movie, American Underdog.
Oh, I like that. I like that. It was fun.
A great movie. Yeah, it's a great movie. And I remember, you guys remember Kurt Warner's rookie year? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
He just electrified the NFL. All right, I'm going to make it. This is a bold prediction about a guy who lots of people are talking about.
Go. It might give you a bad time about this one, but go.
Travion Henderson. I predict he gets 14 touchdowns this year. I love this guy. And
that's good for my dynasty.
I agree.
Well, I'm
love
returning
him
the favor.
I think he's a stud. There's no argument on this.
And because he catches passes as well, and the guy's just electric. I've been watching him for 3 years, waiting to see where he would land, and I've pretty much decided it didn't matter where he lands. It would only be if Bill Belichick were still there that there would be real concerns about, like, is he going to play enough? But Travion Henderson, I predict 14 touchdowns this year.
14.
All right.
Wow.
I think he's going to lead a lot of teams to championships.
Got any other ones?
I have a lot.
All right, we're going to need to wrap up soon, so let's do a couple more.
Cortland Sutton of Denver. He's going to be wide receiver 1 in Denver, but also I feel he's going to have 1,500 yards receiving.
Ooh,
wow.
He's going to have a huge year in Denver, Cortland Sutton. And he's somebody that can pick up like later than earlier in the draft. He's more like in the middle.
Yeah, you can draft him like as a back-end wide receiver too.
I've been scooping him up in a lot of drafts. The reason I'm bringing him up is this. Bo Nix, obviously, is on everybody's radar. He needs somebody to throw the ball to, and his number 1 receiver is Cortland Sutton. Enough said.
I love the pick. I don't know that he'll get to 1,500 yards, but...
No, that's a bold prediction.
Exactly. But I could see 1,200 very easily. And so
1,200's like
It's not much of a stretch.
What do you divide 1,700, 17 games? I mean, what's that? 80, 70 yards a game. I mean, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard, right?
Casey
I mean,
can do it.
well, people actually do sometimes forget that 17th game does make a big difference in the stats. Where it's like
we
some of
just
us have
don't
not
count it
adjusted
because
to
it doesn't matter for fantasy purposes because we're done by then.
Right. But from a stats perspective, but still 1,500 yards, that's a monster season. And Ross, I actually think you're going to be close to right. I think he's going to end up with about 1,400 yards is my guess, but we're splitting hairs.
Okay, well, if he sits the last game because they're in the playoffs and the game doesn't matter,
then you still get credit. If that happens, then we'll
still
give
you
his
average. Yeah, we'll add it to it.
All right. Any last bold predictions before we wrap up for today?
Bold prediction, not like
okay. I'll give you what I think is my most bold prediction.
How's good.
Oh, I like
the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
Produce the best three-headed fantasy monster since the days of Manning, James, and Harrison, or Warner, Bruce, and Falk. I think if within the next 2 seasons, I think it's going to happen this season, but I could see it. But Penix, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London, I think, are going to put up the numbers that you saw those guys put up. Where, what was it, in 99? Warner had 41 touchdowns.
That was ridiculous.
Marshall Falk, 1,300 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. Bruce, 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns.
How about Kyle Pitts? You forgot him.
Manning, yeah.
I think that's as it should be.
Yeah. Manning I think it was 04, Manning had 4,600 yards and 49 touchdowns. Edgerrin James, 1,500 yards and 9 touchdowns and 480 yards receiving. And then Harrison, of course, 15 touchdowns, 1,100 yards receiving. I see the Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. You have a first-year quarterback, a second-year running back, a third-year wide receiver. I just think that trio is destined to be fantasy dominant for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Wow. That would be amazing to see. I see what you're saying, and I know it's, of course, a bold prediction. I don't see it happening, but I love it. And I think Penix is so underrated by so many people. I think he's somebody I'd be trying to get. I've been trying to get him in Dynasty, but it's too hard.
I like Penix. Yeah. How about this? This is a little dirty, but I just want to run it by you guys to see if I can use it in our league as my team name. 9-inch Penix. Do you guys like that?
It's fine with me, Ross. And I don't know what you're referencing.
I'm not sure.
I saw that in somebody's one of the leagues I'm in. Some guy named his team.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a team.
I thought that was really fun. I thought that was funny. I knew you guys would too.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, it's growing on me. All right,
I was
guys.
Going to go worse, but I stopped.
I tried to.
I was going to say it's difficult. I'll say difficult.
We'll see everybody on Sunday, right?
Yes. So the draft. Everybody on MFSN, everybody watching, please put your comments below about your bold predictions, what you think about our bold predictions. But also remember, we've got our live draft coming up. It's this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It'll be right here on MFSN on YouTube. Come check it out. See what we do. There's a lot of banter. We give each other a hard time, especially when I draft DeAndre Swift and things like that. And it's great fun.
DeAndre Swift this year, actually, I do like.
Listen, it's not that I even don't like DeAndre Swift. It's just I didn't pick him. I'm still mad.
You didn't want him where you got him.
I love how much
I don't dislike players. I dislike where they're being drafted.
Yes, especially if I didn't draft them. Oh, that is the stuff of legends. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Next week we'll be here. I believe at our same time. We're going to put our heads together about whether the times work, but it's usually Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and we'll carry you into the fantasy football season. Can't wait. Very excited to get started.
Casey and I will do our waiver wire on Tuesday, right, Case, for fantasy?
Yes, we're going to start. Well, you're going to start in on
football yet.
But not till week 2, I think.
Yeah, we'll start after the first week of games.
So keep in mind, Casey and Ross do a waiver wire show. It's on Tuesdays. We're gonna take a short break from that because baseball is wrapping up. Football hasn't started yet. But during the season, look out for Casey and Ross's waiver wire show. That's Tuesdays. That's 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific. Also, we'll keep bringing you information. But good luck this year. Can't wait to get started, and it's gonna be fun. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me.